Hey family, welcome back to Redefine the podcast. I'm your host, Dee McCoy, and I am here for season 2 with my first official guest. I'm super excited to have you. I'm super excited that you took the invitation. Before I actually introduce him to you, I'm going to give you a little bit of background history. So my friend and I go to church together. And we met when I was probably, maybe 20. And he's a little bit younger than me. And we just kind of hit it off. He's super sweet, super awesome. And I'm excited to just have you here. Tell the people what's up.
What's up, people? Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell them your name.
My name is Silas. And yeah, we've been knowing each other for a while.
Yes.
I feel like, you understand me more than a lot of people because, of the teachings that we listen to together.
I really believe, and I kind of talk about that sometimes, because we're brought up in the same house, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain standards that we have, if it doesn't meet the need, sow a seed. Little things that PK says all the time that I think people don't know about unless you are like a Christ first baby, unless you go there, unless you've been there, then you really know, if you know, right?
Because a lot of people don't, and I be tripping out. So,
yes. Yeah. It's the same teaching. So I can think of, I thought of many different people, right, for my first episode this season. I knew I wanted to come out the gate swinging. I knew I wanted it to be so good. And so one day we're all sitting together and we're talking about who my next guest is going to be. Who's my next guest on the season opener. And this is way back in September. And we're all sitting there. We're kind of talking, going back and forth. And we finally, I start giving out different stories. Well, this person has this story. This person has this story. Who can we get? And then I'm like, oh shit, Silas. And so David's like, oh, yeah. I tell Moogie, she's like, oh, yes. I told my friend Lawana, and I'm like, and I told her the story. She goes, oh my God, he's your opener. And I'm like, he's my fucking opener. I knew in September, I don't know how many months ago that was, but in September, I knew that you were going to be opening for me if you accepted my application, if you accepted my invitation.
I was definitely going to accept. I'm
so excited. Are you nervous?
I am a little bit. I am, but, you know how we are.
Yes. It'll go away.
Yeah, it'll go away.
Okay, so before we get even started, have you been watching the news today?
Okay, yeah, I watched a little bit of it today, and I'm tripping out.
Right. So, okay, guys, today is January 6th, 7th. Right now, there's people climbing in is it not the White House? It's I don't know. It's not far from the White House. It's I can't remember what it's called.
What that building is called.
But they're there's a whole bunch of Trump supporters getting ready to turn that shit down.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's very crazy. I kind of seen it coming. I kind of felt like when he wasn't gonna win, or you knew how much people had his back. So it was like, oh, he don't win, they're gonna be mad.
See, and I was thinking if anything was gonna happen, it was gonna be closer to when Biden was going into office. Because unpredictable, right? Yeah. 2020 was unpredictable. And 2021 it's going to be better, but I definitely couldn't predict this. I didn't even see this coming.
I feel like it's going to be better because I can feel it, but...
That's right. That's good. That's a good feeling.
You feel what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right, so enough of other people's stuff.
Okay.
So, I'm going to go back. I'm going to tell a little story, and then we'll go back. A couple of years ago, well, many years ago, before I even had Danny Marie, Silas, myself, and somebody else and our pastor hung out. Which is not right, which is not weird, right? us hanging out with him. That's just kind of who he is. And he had an event, and he decided to take us to this event with him. And we went to M&M's to eat. And there is this picture of Silas and I. And I think I had just did my big shop, so I had my hair like in a wrap. And we're both sitting next to each other. And Silas, I mean, I love the picture because I look really cute. But in this particular picture, Silas looks very, very sad.
True.
And you look you look good, but it's not like, if you know you, right, it doesn't look like you're happy you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that it didn't look like you're happy you till a couple of years later. And I sent you a message like, oh my God, I'm so happy you're happy.
You did.
Yes, because I felt like that was big. Like, you know, seeing you and then seeing you in this other way, you just seemed so happy. And I love that. So
yes,
let's talk about it, and you know, and let's get there. Let's do it.
Let me speak about that picture. Yes, I was very unhappy. I have like a crazy childhood, and I don't know. That day that PK had took us out, it was like a needed day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, you know, well, I feel like you would realize how much it was needed, but it's like, you know, at the time, like, I didn't realize how much I needed that day.
Right.
Okay, so like I said earlier before the other day, that I cherished that day. I wasn't really happy, but just like you didn't have the comparison of like what's happy Silas, what's
not happy Silas,
yeah.
Right?
Neither did I.
Mm-hmm.
Neither did I. So that day, you know, I'm like, okay, this is my best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was like a great experience. I knew what he was doing, and I was believing in what he was saying.
Okay.
You know, and that day does have a lot to do with like where I got to now. So.
Okay. So, let's start at we'll pull you guys in at some point and let you know what the tea is, you know. But let's start at 20.
Okay.
All right.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, like let's start at like, when did you well, we can just take the cat out the bag.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. So about 6 years ago, Silas had transitioned.
Yes.
And so let's talk about transitioning.
Okay.
And
oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take it back to like how far you want me to?
As far as like, as you can tell me from when you knew you wanted to transition. You know what I'm saying? Like when you thought, or when you felt like this is not me, or this is me, or you know what I'm saying? You can, wherever you're comfortable is where I want to start.
It was a childhood thing. It was a childhood thing, and growing up, I just had soft features, and that's all I'm gonna say. And everywhere we went, people already thought I was a girl, and you know, my dad would hate it. He would hate it so much, but in my mind, you know, I didn't have that choice. It was just like me and my brother would dress the same. My mom would make us wear matching outfits, but we would go out, they would think that I was a girl. And to see like the glow on their face, like, you know, like, oh, you have such a pretty daughter, and then my dad would be like, oh, that's my son. And then to see that glow disappear from their face, it's just, and me being a child and seeing that, it's like, I liked how they reacted to me, like, you know.
So do you think, I'm sorry to cut you off. So do you think that played a part in, like,
a lot played a part.
Okay.
A lot played a part, because it was like a battle in the mind, you know. It was a battle in the mind at a very young age, because I don't know, I just got treated differently. Being soft in the family that I grew up in was like.
And you are.
What?
Like, what's your racial background?
Oh, I'm Black and Samoan.
So that's the key point right there, because I feel like Samoans, Like, they do not play. It's real. Like, Samoan men are real ass men. And not that other races are not men, but I feel like I get it. Okay.
Do you know about toxic masculinity?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have. Oh. But you can give us a little background.
Okay, toxic masculinity to me is the need to be masculine so much that like you become a horrible human being.
Okay.
But it's like being a man is more important than being a good human being. So a lot of the men in my family have that toxic masculinity, like this is what men do, rough,
right,
type of stuff. And I was just never like that. I was never like that, and it really confused me because it's like, okay, so if I'm not like that,
is there something wrong with me?
Is there something wrong with me? Am I not a man? You know, like, they would force me to fight. They would, you know, just like a lot of traumatic things that I can't really think of like on the top of my head right now, but it's just, that's the type of background I come from. And painting, the things that you know me to do now, drawing, that was all girl stuff. Okay, so you know, now that I'm an adult, coming like full circle, realizing it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whoever wants to do it can do
right.
it.
Whoever wants to draw can draw.
Okay.
Right.
So you know, like that is like the childhood portion about it. If it comes back to childhood, we'll get back to it. Let's fast forward to when it actually happened. I got kicked out of the house at 18 years old for assumption that I was gay. I didn't know what I was. I knew what I was attracted to. I'm gonna share this with you.
Yes. Tell me.
And I'm really brave enough to share this with you because of let's just say I feel comfortable with you. Okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I was sexually abused when I was a child. Okay, and the reason why I want to speak up about this is because, first of all, it gets a lot off my chest. It's like people are so judgy. But it's like if you would know what I've been through, you wouldn't, you know, judge so much.
Yeah. But
the reason why, the main reason why I want to bring it up is because it's so scary to talk about.
It's so taboo.
It's so taboo.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's scary and it's embarrassing, you know, and it's not really something that like everyone's just like comfortable with speaking about. But if it'll help somebody, then, you know, why not?
So I have a question. You made a comment just now. You said it's embarrassing. Why is it embarrassing to you?
I mean, growing up, you just always hear like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, I just always heard gay jokes and my family making fun of gay people. And then this happens to me, and that falls under the category of like gay.
And you didn't realize that it was abuse or something?
I didn't. I thought it was love.
Yeah, it happens.
The person that did it made me feel like it was love, you know? But then, you know, like I said, I couldn't talk to nobody about it. Like, you know, it happened until my family made fun of me and like made my life a living hell for me being feminine, while this person that abused me is real masculine and real a man, and they like welcomed him with like open arms, and like he was their family and I was the like disgrace of
you were the outlander. You were outside. Yeah.
And I just didn't understand that because I'm like, he's the one that did it, you know what I mean? But it's like y'all are accepting him, you know, but I'm the one, like, you know, that gets like, you know. So that is something else that plays like a part, and like just like confusion. A lot of this was just a child not knowing, like, you know, and with no one really to teach you or direct you. It's like you got to figure things out on your own, you know. So yeah, let's fast forward back to 20, I got kicked out of the house at 18 from my uncle's house. I was staying with him. I got kicked out of his house over an assumption, over rumors that people were just making up, saying
Right.
Silas is this, Silas is that. You know, he pulls a whole family meeting because that's how they get down. And basically tells me to pack my bags. And I'm 18, you know what I mean? And I'm brought up with the mentality that family is everything. You know, that we're all we got. Like, one of us go, we all go. One of us jump, we all jump. And then the very next day, it's like, get out. And when my uncle says that, everyone in my family stops talking to me. Everyone. So I'm literally stuck in a city far away from my mom, in like a house full of people that I love, but no one's talking to me. And I'm a child. I'm 17 actually.
You're a baby.
Okay, yeah. Almost 18. My birthday was coming up, and like people I grew up with, loved to death, like didn't talk to me, would walk right past me. I didn't eat for 2 days because I couldn't understand, like, you know, and they would just walk past me, like they didn't care. No one would say anything to me. And then I finally got brought back home. I didn't have no choice but to come out to my mom, because it's like, well, this is it. I then got kicked out of my uncle's house because they say this, they say that. So I was just confused and hurt. My mom finally asked me, well, do you feel that way? And it was just like, I'm tired of fighting this. Like, I don't want to fight this. If this is what it is, then this is what it is. So I'm like, okay. I tell her, yeah. So
at this point, do you even know if you're gay still? Like, do you even know if you're gay, or is it just
today?
Well, no, then. Like, people are just saying, like, this is what you are, this is what you are. And finally someone asks you, instead of assuming, and you're like, yeah, this is what I am.
Okay. This is something that I deal with today. I was attracted to men sexually, but I don't know if that was because
of what happened.
Yes.
Right.
But I realized that I was always attracted to women mentally, and I was always attracted to women, like the energy that they give off, and I always like being around them because I'm attracted to them.
Right.
You know, like, okay, I don't get turned on, but I don't think women are like made just to be turned on by.
Right.
You know.
See, that's I feel like that's such a big thing, because I know, for me, I always tell people, they're like, so wait, I remember when you were gay. And I'm like, you remember when I was gay? When was I gay? And they're like, didn't you have a girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah, but I never said I was gay. I said that I love someone, and I happen to love a her, who you see as a her. And I always tell people to this very day that I don't care if the person is man, woman, trans, I don't, whatever sexual term that you can place on a person, that doesn't, like, I feel like it has to be something deeper than that. Because we're told our sexuality. You're told when you're brought up, you're a boy and you like boy toys and you like fire trucks. That's what you like. And we're told that. But I've always felt like I just loved who was good to me. Yes. I just loved Tara because she loved me, and the way she looked at me, and the way she spoke to me. I loved David because the way he spoke to me, the way that he took care of me. It had nothing to do with because she had titties and ass, and because David had male parts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had nothing to do with that. I feel like that is something that comes from the world. So I don't think what you're saying is like your attraction. Like, I think that, like, the terms of, like, you have to pick if you're gay, if you're straight, or if you're bi. Like, why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if you know what you like and you're like, I'm straight. Okay.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, kudos to you. But, like, the position that I'm in, it's like, I'm not really going to label myself. You know, I'm not really going to label myself. I'm learning, you know what I mean? When you're really with someone, it's not about sex. So why does my sexual attraction matter?
Yeah.
You know, when it comes, you know, it's like, I'm going to marry a woman. Let me just fast forward to that. I plan on marrying a woman because I realize that that's what I need.
Okay.
But
you say that's what you need. What do you mean?
She's gonna be what I can't provide. Like, you know, okay, one thing I learned about living life as a woman is that you can have the emotion, you can have the look, you can have the beauty, but you are not a woman. And that's gonna make a lot of people upset out there, trans people, but this is my walk. And in reality, this is what turned me around. Like the realization that women are perfectly women. You know what I mean? They don't have to try. They don't have to do anything, you know? And they're literally set up to be the other side of the mind. Like, you know, the things that men won't think about, women naturally think about, and vice versa. You know, so it's like when I was in a relationship as a woman, I was like, you need me. You know, that was my mindset. Like, you need me, you making dumb decisions, you need me. But it was like a positive and a positive, you know.
I was told very long time ago when I was with Tara, we started having a lot of problems and we got into a physical altercation. Oh my God. We got into a fight at Carl's Jr. at 2:00 in the afternoon in front of so many people. If it would have happened today, we would have been on World Star. And I remember talking to one of my uncles, and he said, baby, the problem, he said, there's nothing wrong with you loving her. He said, the problem is there's no balance.
Okay.
He said, because you would fight me and I would walk away from you. I'd leave you at that Carl's Jr. and go buy me a burger.
Man.
You would key my car and I would walk away. He said, but another woman, she gonna size you up. And that's why y'all was fighting in that parking lot. The lack of balance. And I remember thinking, oh shit. Then neither of us walk away until they say, we don't call the police. We was like, oh, hop in the car, you know. And I was like, call them motherfuckers, tell them I'm here, you know. There was a lack of balance. So I got it.
Okay, perfect. You said it perfectly. Yeah, you know, and it felt like that, you know. I just didn't understand it. I just didn't understand how there could be such an intense love, you know, because a love like that is one that we always want. You know what I mean? So it's like, I have it, but I want to strangle this mother, you know, at the same time. And, you know, and it wasn't making any sense. And that's when I started praying for him really hard. You know, when you love somebody, you pray for them. If you realize that you ain't the answer. So I started praying for him. My ass is the one that fell hard, real hard for Jesus. Okay, that's how that happened. And we didn't break up off of no like bad experience. You know, it was me turning back into a boy, and that's how it ended. You know, me just like listening to what God said. Okay, so before we get there, when you transitioned, what did that look like with your family? Like, what did that, not even what did it look like, but like when you transitioned, I remember thinking, you were the most beautiful, like you were the most beautiful fucking woman. Like, we used to always be like, bitch, I've been a girl forever. And he walked in here today and he's popping. Like, you know, and I remember working very hard on pronouns with you and being like, I love you.
You know, I'm not going to call him that. Like, she's a she, and that's what I'm going to say. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I didn't care if I was at church. I didn't care who I was in front of. To me, you were Silas and you were her. You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
Hello. And so, what does that look like when you tell your family or your mom or your sister, whoever, I'm going to transition and I'm going to be a woman? And were you happy? Like, what did that look like?
Okay, so I was actually living with my best friend.
Okay.
I was actually living with my best friend. So I was kind of like low-key without my family. And my best friend has nothing but sisters, like nothing but sisters. And it's like, I felt comfortable, you know, because my best friend loves me, and so did her sisters. And, you know, they already made me feel like a part of the sisterhood. So I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, you know, I can do this around them. My best friend was the first person I told. She told me she's gonna support me, but she didn't really like she said, I love Silas. Yeah, but she was like, but I support you and I love you no matter what. So once I got past that, I started doing it. Then I had to break the news to my mom. And
who is amazing, by the way. You have an awesome mom.
Very.
She's awesome. Very. Right.
I love you, Mom. Shout out.
Shout out Auntie Pam.
Yes. Like, once I made the decision, I was just like, okay, I gotta tell my mom. Like, she's the only opinion that really matters when it comes to this. So it was like, I was nervous. I told her to pull up at my best friend's house, and she pulled up, and I was so scared. But the thing is, I had already made it up in my mind, and I had already mentally prepared myself to lose everything, everyone.
And you had already had that happen to you, so
yes,
you were like, well, shit, I've been through this.
Yes, it was like, I need to be who I want to be. I need to chase like what I want, like, you know. And it's like, the only person whose opinion really matters right now is my mom's. So it wasn't really like, I posted a big old status on Facebook telling everyone, just so they won't be shocked when I start posting pictures and stuff.
Right.
But I didn't care about that because I didn't care about Facebook's opinion. I only cared about hers. So I broke the news to her. It was hard. She wasn't 100% on board. A lot of people think my mom was just on board, and they like looked at her like in some type of way, but she wasn't. You know, she asked me not to, you know what I mean? But I told her, if you don't want me in your life, like, after this decision, then I completely understand. Because I understood it was a lot, you know.
And you have your son your whole life, and then he says at 20 or 18 or whatever, he says, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. And as a mother, you're like, no. And I get that. I get it. As a mom, I get it completely.
Okay, yeah. I totally got it too. So my heart was breaking for her.
Right.
But at the same time, mine been broken, like,
who do I live for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and then just knowing that she was gonna still love me, it hurt her, but just knowing that she was gonna still love me, I was able to go through it. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so you decide to transition. What did your father say?
I never had the conversation with him.
You just did it.
Yeah. Me and my
sorry, pops. What's up?
Me and my dad had a very bad relationship. Like, we fixed it before he passed. I just want to say that, but we had a very bad relationship. I did not care. My dad and my uncle damaged my brain and my heart and my life for a long time. So at that point, it was kind of like a F young niggas type of energy towards them too. So, you know, I was really feeling like F them. I don't care what none of them say, what my brother says, what my family says.
And you know, and I feel like people will be like, oh my God, you know, like, how can you just say, like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and I feel like this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
So your decision to transition, really, and give a courtesy call to it, like, that was a courtesy. You know what I'm saying? It's a courtesy. And I remember telling people all the time when they're like, I didn't know you had a girlfriend, and I'd be like, my sexuality is not your business.
Thank you.
What I do in my house, in my room, and wherever is not your business. It's a courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a courtesy that you know that I like women, or it's a courtesy that you know, whatever. No matter what it is, it's a fucking courtesy. And so I think that's so cool that even at that age, you were like, unfortunately, it was like toxic because of the relationship. But I think it's also very powerful that you were able to say, like, no, this is what I'm gonna do. And I like that.
Yeah. I just been like I said, I grew up being told what to do, like, you know, and it wasn't always the right thing, you know. So it was like, once I like got out of my shell and like, I don't know, it was like, I'm not gonna let nobody tell me what to do. I'm gonna live my life for myself, and learn myself, like, you know. And my mind was made up, and I just wanted to be happy, you know. I wanted to be able to be like truly who I am.
Right.
Because everyone's able to be truly who they are.
Without anybody
saying anything.
Anything. So you transition and you start to become this beautiful woman. And what does that feel like? What does that look like? What is going through your mind during those times?
Okay, so I was working at McDonald's, and I was taking hormones. You know about hormones? Okay. I was taking hormone pills, but I was still living life as a boy. And it wasn't until people start mistaking me as a girl when I was a boy that I find, because I had to play the game. I had to play the game. I did not want to look like just a man in makeup, like, you know. So I lived my life as a boy until changes started to happen. And then one day I'm in the men's bathroom, and then a guy walks in, and he stops and he looks, and he like, am I in the right bathroom? And then that was the day
that you were like, I have arrived, honey. Here I am. She is here.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
That was the day.
That was the day. That was the moment. Got it. I feel it.
Oh,
sorry.
No.
So you start living as a woman.
Yes.
How was, like, what does that look like? What is that?
Okay, so people wonder why I'm so like calm and chill and peaceful nowadays. Estrogen. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about menstrual cycle?
Right. It does. It makes you. I remember we had a conversation when you were like, I'm just so emotional. Everything bothers me. And I remember thinking,
I love you.
I remember thinking, like, girl, I'm emotional too. What's up? Like, welcome to the world, you know?
It's beyond. That's why it's so crazy. I look at men nowadays like, you don't know.
Right.
You better treat that woman right because you don't know. Even when she mad. Even when she crying because you don't know why.
Right. Love her.
Okay. Yes. So it was like, there was a lot of body changes, and you can feel them. So I was dealing with that. And then my emotions heightened, but I kind of liked that. Like, you know, I kind of liked feeling like and being like, I don't know, it just made me more of like a sweet person. You know what I mean? Caring, like nurturing. Then I started going out into the world once I like perfect my look and everything and feel comfortable to go out into the world. Reactions, you know, the first thing that happened to me that really made me like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
I lived life as a gay black man, and that was, being a black man in America is scary. You know what I mean? It's very scary, and I've seen a little bit of like how you can be treated. You know what I mean? And then you can add gay into the mix, and it's like a little bit worse. You know,
all the negatives against you when you're a gay black man.
Against you.
Yes.
So
everything.
I've seen all of that.
Right.
Now I'm walking in Compton to go see my mom for lunch or something, and I drop all my stuff. And you know, I'm used to people just looking when I drop something. I drop my stuff. This man and his son told his son like to come pick up all my stuff, and that was the first time that anything like that has ever happened to me. And just like walking by like a crowd of like, you know those crowds of like thuggy men,
right, in front of Red's liquor. Okay, yes.
Okay, as a boy, you walk by them and it's like testosterone up, like, you know, chest out.
Yes.
You know, they ready to press you,
right?
They ready to talk shit, make fun. But then, as a girl, you walk by, you smile, and they melt. You know, they melt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And
it's just like, wow, like, you know, like I ain't got to worry about anything anymore.
Yeah, life is a little bit easier, right?
It was a little bit easier. It was a lot of like, it was a lot of good stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. It's just, it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing.
Okay, so it wasn't what you were supposed to be doing. When did you figure that out?
Oh, the relationship. I had to be in a relationship and be broken and dragged through the mud for me to like. It wasn't okay. It wasn't right after the relationship that I you're asking me about like when I made the decision to.
Yeah, like, so you knew when you made the moment to transition to a woman, you knew, I'm gonna be a woman. Like, this is what I want, this is what I feel.
Okay.
And then you decide, how many years later?
It was like 4.
So after 4 years of living as a woman, you decide, all right, like, this is over. This is not what I want. This is, when did you, like, how did you know that? Or how did, like, if you were happy during your time of being
Very
a woman.
Happy.
So then what made you transition back?
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward. So I said a little bit about the relationship. Prayed for him so hard and like got so close to God, trying to pray for him, and God answered me, and it wasn't the answer that I was looking for. So, you know, I was still a girl though. You know. So fast forward past that relationship part, I'm dealing with the end of the relationship, and I'm chilling. Okay. Me and my mom are talking about like God and like what He has planned and what our purposes are and stuff. And she tells me that I need to start praying for what is God's will in my life instead of praying for like what I want and, you know, what I see. She was like, you need to ask God's will to be done in your life. Okay. And you know, when she gave me that answer, I was seeking it because I was like so everywhere in my mind. So she gave me that answer, and I really, after that day, was like, that was all I prayed was, Lord, let your will be done in my life. Let your will be done in my life. Let your will be done in my life. Like a week later that I'm praying that prayer, I'm chilling with my best friend from middle school, and out of nowhere, I had just got my nails done that day. And out of nowhere, me and her are just talking, and I'm looking at my nails and stuff, and I didn't feel right. I didn't. It felt embarrassing. It felt so embarrassing, and I never felt like that. You know how they be like, it's a choice. It was never a choice up until that day. It was never a choice for me up until that day because I knew what it felt like for it to feel wrong to me. So I was so confused. And so like, that felt like I wanted to hide under a blanket, and that feeling lasted all day. It lasted the rest of the day. I didn't say nothing to anyone, but in my mind, I'm like, what the hell? Like, you know, like I almost cried because I had.
Right.
Okay. And I had done all that to my body and stuff. So, you know, it was just like a new feeling. The next day after that, that feeling was gone, and I was back to being me. But then the thought of it, though, the thought that I experienced that feeling was still there. And that's when it became like a choice, like, you know, like. And I remember sitting in a kitchen, just sitting there lost and stuck. And like my mom comes home from work, and she's like, listen to this. And she's like, what's wrong? Like, I can see it all over your face. And then I'm like, I forgot exactly what I said, but she was like, I haven't seen you like this since the day that you told me that you wanted to transition. Yeah. And I was already like, really? And she was like, yeah, you looked like the same day that you looked when you were trying to break the news to me that you wanted to transition. And I was like, okay. And she was like, well, what do you got to tell me now? And then I was like, I kind of don't know if I'm going to keep transitioning, like, you know. And then I told her my experience with my best friend, and she got happy. She couldn't hide her happiness, and I was low key like, oh hell no,
right?
Oh, hell
Come on,
no.
have fun. Like, can you celebrate in the room?
She let it slip,
right? But celebrate in the room by yourself, right?
Yes. So, after that, after that conversation I had with her, pressure came. A whole lot of pressure came when people started finding out that I was feeling that way and making that decision. So much pressure came from like friends and stuff, and people like all of a sudden,
no, you're fine, keep going.
People all of a sudden holding me up to the standard of this man that I'm supposed to be, and I'm like, I was just a girl 2 days ago.
Yesterday I had Diddy. Like, don't stress me.
Thank you.
Let me do this walk. Let me take my time.
Yeah. So and like, but so the thing was though, God never told me that I had to be a boy again. He never said I had to be a boy again, but he did tell me that the feeling that I'm feeling right now in the relationship that I'm in through Reverend Davis.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, Reverend Davis.
Yes.
After we told him about the experience that I experienced, he said, he didn't say like I need to change who I am for God to love me. He didn't say none of that. He said, God loves you. He's been loved you throughout this whole thing. But the sadness that I'm feeling
will never go away.
It's gonna be the same in every relationship that I'm in. And I believe him because it was like we loved each other, but it was still, and I never understood it.
Right.
And that's when it comes back to this whole balance thing. So it was like a sacrifice having to let go of like the person you love, you know what I mean? But it was something that I had to do, because I wanted God to have his way.
Right. And whatever that looked like for your life.
Yeah, whatever it looked like. So God finally speaks. I've been praying for him to speak. So he finally speaks, and I still have this boy in my life, this man, and nothing bad happened yet. So I'm like, or nothing horrible happened yet. So I'm like so scared to tell him, like, that I'm going to be a boy again, because that changes everything.
Because what did he identify as?
He's a man.
So no, I know he identifies as a man, but is he gay? Is he straight?
He was straight. I was his only
trans relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I knew he liked girls. You know what I mean? And I had a big insecurity about that, like being a trans, because he likes real women, but he would always reassure me. But that's the thing. He would reassure me that I'm a girl and it's okay. Like, So when I knew that I wasn't going to be a girl anymore.
So you already knew, once you made the decision to transition back, that the relationship was going to be over.
I just had a feeling.
Right.
I just had a feeling, okay, God done already told us, that me and him needed to just be friends. But it was hard,
right.
Okay? It was hard. But, so yeah, when this happened, it was like, the friendship thing didn't work out. So it's like, okay, we ain't gonna just be friends. We can't. We don't know how to do that. Like, and then it was, so if friendship is out of the question and I'm gonna be a boy again, it was just like, I was so afraid. I knew.
Yeah,
but I was just so afraid to hear it. Like, like.
It makes it real. It makes it final.
It made it very real, very final. And we were still talking. So I'm changing my life back. I'm living as a boy again. And he doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. Yeah, because he had got moved. Oh, that's the thing. God told us to just be friends. We didn't listen right. He got moved to Vegas out of nowhere. So it was like separation.
Right.
So he's living in Vegas now. And I'm being a boy. Like, I'm becoming a boy. And he doesn't know. So he's still calling me, talking to me, stuff like that. And, and I just am so afraid to tell him. So afraid to tell him. I even told him, like, I need to talk to you, but I'm so afraid. Then one day we finally had that conversation. And he said that it was okay. He said it was okay.
Oh.
No.
It gets better. It gets better.
He said it was okay, and then he posted that he was in a relationship with this girl that was supposed to be his friend since middle school. Yeah, just like destroyed everything. But then he looked at me like I left him hanging, and that I abandoned him.
Because essentially you know that he likes women, mm-hmm. and you decide to transition back. And so, I hate niggas.
Okay.
Fuck your happiness. Like, be what I need you to be if you want to be with me. God damn.
But it was I just felt like after all we've been through, like, damn, we could just been friends. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, but whatever, yeah.
So, okay. So, you transitioned back. You are now a boy again.
Yes.
What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is that? I remember when the discussion came up about you.
Excuse me.
No worries. Okay, so let me say this. I don't remember when you transitioned back. I never remember you saying anything, because at one point you I think it must have been when you were going through your transition period of going back, I felt like you kind of isolated yourself. Like, I felt like...
You pay attention. Give me some. I'm sorry. My hands are kind of clammy.
No, it's okay. I felt like you isolated yourself. And so you would sit in that back corner on the overflow side. And you would get in there late. And you would leave early. And that was it. And I remember seeing you, and I remember thinking, okay, something's different. Like, something is changing. What is that like? Like, to me, like, I get it, and I'm so happy for you because you're happy. But what is that like when you started telling people, or when people started seeing you? What was the feeling of, like, you gave us the story, right, of all your stuff falling and getting picked up. Mm-hmm. What is the feeling now when,
Now I've grown to just, okay. Before I get to now, transitioning back, it was like right back. I was so mad. Like, I remember I had on a big old hoodie, and I was in Target, and this guy got real mad at me just because I was walking in front of him, and he, like, got rude and had an attitude. I don't remember what he said, but it was just like, in my mind, I'm like, right back to this stuff.
Right.
Like, here we go. But talking, like, to God about it, I'll be like, you wanted me to give up being a woman. I'm like, but people treated me nice. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't like having to deal with this. Yeah, I don't like having to deal with this. Like, I'm a nice person. I don't like having to deal with, like, the bad of the world, and people kind of still treat me good. There are times I do get it, and I'm like, but I've grown to just be like, I don't care. Like,
this is who I am.
Yeah.
However I am, whatever it is.
Yes. And there's still those nice people that still do nice things. So it's just like, okay, I just take it for what it is.
So not even like, you said that you would eventually, one day you're going to marry a woman.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have who I want, but I'm going to keep it a secret.
Okay. All right. You feel me? Okay. So this is something that makes you happy. The thought of this, the idea of this, can I be very... anything. Okay. So it made me so worried for you. Like, this is like Deanna, like your friend Deanna. It made me so worried for you when you started transitioning back. It made me so, like, even thinking about it makes me like emotional. I'm just an emotional being though. It made me so worried for you because I remember the picture. And I'm like, okay, God, like,
don't go back there.
Like, yeah, like, I don't want him to be that sad again. And I didn't have to talk to you every day to know if you were sad or if you were happy, but you can see when you are around people. And I remember thinking, oh my God, like, if he is doing this, like, let it be for him. Not for anybody else, not for anything else. Let it be for him. And I was just always so worried about you, mm-hmm. because I just didn't know. Like, I remember feeling like you were happy, and then knowing that you were going to go back to something that made you unhappy. I didn't understand the process of like the change. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand the process. Like, God spoke to me, and he spoke to you so clearly that you didn't question it. Or even if you did question it, you still, obedience is better than sacrifice. Like, you moved and you decided, like, this is what I'm going to do. But from the outside looking in, I was so scared because I just,
rightfully so,
I didn't know.
A lot of my friends felt like I was doing it because I let people get in my ear, because they don't really know God like that, and I didn't do it for me. I didn't. I be trying to tell people, if it was up to me, I would still be India. I would still be her, but, trusting God, it's like he was saying to do something, and it's like, okay, I trust you. It's like, I love you and I know you love me. I'm really mad. I'm very mad, that I have to give up this person that I've fallen in love with. The other day you told me, you saw me sad as him, and then you saw me happy as her, and then now you see me happy as him. I had to be her first. She taught me confidence and not giving up down, and I had to I don't know, till this day I have to remind myself that it was me. You know what I mean? It wasn't no India different person. I looked like a different person, yeah, but
you were still you.
It was still me, and I can't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time someone told me, it was Red. You know Red?
Oh, yeah.
She told me, she's like, where's that girl at talking about the old me? And
okay.
She's like, she was just so confident and so this and that. And then I'm like, it's me. That's still me. But that put things in perspective. For me, it's like, people look at her as confident and him as not. And that was a problem. So it was like, I had to find
the confidence in you.
Yeah.
And miss you.
Yeah. Yes. And I had to remind myself, why is it like that? What's the difference? So I disappeared off of social media, and it was just I don't know, connecting with myself and feeling beautiful without hair and makeup, fully. And once that happened, it's like confidence is back. I'm the same person. I just had to learn to let go of a lot of the things that I use as crutches for confidence. Now I don't need the crutches.
That's awesome. That's heavy. Whew. That's heavy. And so now you're happy. You feel good.
I'm happy. I feel good just because God has promised a lot, and I see it. I think this is the beginning of something beautiful. I'm gonna share something with you and David off the record.
Oh yes.
But yes, I think this is the start of a lot of stuff.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm so happy you came and you did this. I don't know. I just this season I was sitting down with one of my friends, and I was talking to her about kind of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And I wanted to, when I think of you, everybody that I thought about asking and speaking to, I prayed about a lot. And just asking God, tell me who I'm supposed to have, because I want people to listen to it and get something from it. And I think something that is so good about you is the fact that you spoke about things that we don't see Black people speak about. Not only Black people. I have to burp, excuse me. Not only that Black people, you don't hear Black men. You spoke about abuse and hurt from your father and your uncle, and then you spoke about the forgiveness of forgiving your dad and rebuilding the relationship, whatever it would look like, and then finding this happiness within you,
within yourself. Yes,
I think that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I've always been very worried about you. And like, this gives me that sense of like, he's good. Like, you're good.
Thank you.
And I'm happy. I'm really, really happy to hear that. I feel like it took a long time for this conversation to happen. Because how do you, like, I always think like, how do I fucking have this conversation with people, and this gives me the opportunity to have these hard conversations. It's fine. To have these hard conversations with people. And I'm happy to hear that you're good.
I'm very good. I had to come here like fully vulnerable and fully open, because God told me already that I had to tell my story. I just been afraid.
What were you afraid of?
I was just so sure of myself, like as a girl, and I had so much support, and it was just like I didn't want to let my support system down or have them thinking like, okay, you confused or
right.
All
right.
of that. So it was just like, no one has to know. Nobody has to know until the time is right.
But you know what? There would have never been a right time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's never no right times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think of like, when I think of your story now, I think of like, if you're a believer, the power of what you believe, like the power of God. If you're a believer, then you know that this is so real. You know what I'm saying? You know that this is not someone in your head. You know that like when he speaks,
because he'll prove it.
Things change.
Things
change. And you don't realize it unless you believe. And I think that that's so, that's so amazing. I think it's great. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you. So normally at the end of the episode, I ask people, what is 3 things that you want people to take away from what you spoke about today? I need 3 things. I always say I'm going to tell people that before they get here so they can have it in the back of their minds. But
I love speaking freely, like
right
off the dome.
Yes. So what would be your 3 things?
Okay, the main thing, the first most important thing that I want you to take from this is this is going to go in the same breath. Watch your kids. Let them know that it's okay to talk to you about these uncomfortable, your young men too. A lot. Like, it's okay to talk about these things that if someone is abusing you, to speak up.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I have to stop you. I
I
always do that. I'm gonna work on it.
No worries.
One of the things when Michaela was assaulted, I know you were one of the first people that she told and that she spoke to about. From the very first day, from June 30th, June 29th, June 30th, I think, David and I told Michaela, you are not a victim. You are a survivor. You are powerful. Your virginity is not taken. It is given. Like, this is going to be tough, but you're going to fucking win. And we said that.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. We said that not even knowing that was going to be like something she carried, with her. It wasn't like we said it to her. And I don't even know. I have to ask David. I don't know if we said it to encourage her, if we said it to encourage us. I don't know what it was, but we said it to her all the time. And along with that, we also told her, I'm very big on the kids advocating for themselves. Advocating. Sometimes they advocate too damn much because I don't want to hear everything all the time. But when Michaela got in the car that day, it was the word advocate that made her end up talking. Like, made her, because she got in the car, she wasn't saying anything to us. And I said, when I realized, oh shit, something's wrong. Like, something is really happening. And I told Mookie, I said, I cannot help you if you don't talk to me. You have to advocate for yourself. And I think that goes to your number one thing about watching your kids and letting them know. As parents, we have to set a space where our kids know there's nothing you can do that will make me not love you. Mm-hmm. And that this is your private space. And if somebody touches it, like, you tell me. And I tell Danny Marie, I'm a fucking superhero. Like, nothing can happen to me. No one can, if someone does something to you that you don't like, no one can do anything to me, Daddy, or Mookie. And we are the strongest people, and God is covering us, and we'll fucking fix it. You just have to tell me. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, you know, and I really feel like that's a good number one.
Yes, that is.
Because of those reasons. Like, that's, yeah. Because, and letting them know, I mean, both people were your person was a family member. Mookie's person was a family member. And we have to know that, like, no matter who it is, our kids have to feel comfortable saying, this happened. Yes. Yeah. All right. That was pretty heavy. Number 2. Sorry.
I just want to say, off of what you said earlier, I wanted to bring up Mookie's story because she helped me tell mine. And that's why I feel so comfortable talking to you about this. Okay. I just didn't want to put her story in.
Oh Lord, we talk about Mookie all the time. They probably think Mookie the co-host. Shit, they hear about Mookie all the time.
Yeah, so thanks, Mookie.
Shout out to Mookie, Mook dog.
So yes, number 1, that was number 1. Number 2, this is just what I've been telling a lot of people lately, is find out who you are, you know, through God. What your purpose is, like what you are put on this earth to do, because you find that out, everything else kind of just like
it rolls together.
Yes. So, you know, remove yourself from anyone that can influence your thought on yourself. So that's going to be number 2. Find out who you are. Watch Soul.
Yes, that's a good one.
Okay, and then last but not least, I'd say keep it simple. Don't judge a book by its cover.
I like that. Anything else? Anything? Oh, well, you're doing so many great things. You are, before we go, you just wrote a book.
Yes.
And it's published.
Yes.
Where can people find you? Where can people buy the book? How do they connect with you? You really need to be back on social media, but that's not my business. So
I'm getting to it. I promise I'm getting to it. I already have everything planned for 2021. I am going to go ahead and get back on social media because, you know, like I said, I'm in a very good space now. It was a journey. My book will be on lulu.com. It's called Brown Skin Girl by Silas.
Yay.
I do music.
Yes.
And I'm writing a graphic novel right now that I've been working on for like 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's almost there, and I'm working on a Black Powerpuff Girl. What is it, like sploof? My version of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, and you're gonna be brown, honey. Yes.
Yes, and you can, when it's out, you can find it at the I don't know what the store is called, but it's the Black comic book store in Carson Mall.
No way.
Yes.
That's fucking exciting. I am so excited for you.
Thank you. And it's all God. I'm telling y'all. It's all God. He had promised giving up my old life that we just talked about in this episode. He promised. It was me relying on his promise. Okay? He said, if you do this, I promise this. Okay? I did that, and it looked like he wasn't going to keep up with the deal.
Because listen, he be doing things on his own time. You be sitting there like, bro,
can you speed it up?
Is it going to happen? Like you,
because I know you sacrificed like
yes. You taking a little too long on your end of the bargain. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Yeah, so he's starting to come through with his side. It's been a long journey. I gave him my portion a while ago, but then the trials and tribulations came, and he's bringing up his end of the bargain now. You know.
Come on, Jesus.
Okay, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
You know,
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Well, family, I am Silas. First, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing. It means a lot to me personally because I have this big fear. But it means a lot to me as a creator as well that I'm able to have this space that you felt comfortable enough coming to share. Thank you so much. It is not going unnoticed. It is not going. Thank you.
You're welcome, but thank you. I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I didn't. My mom wrote a book. You know about that book?
Mm-mm.
About her experience as a trans mother.
Oh no.
She wrote that, but it's like I wasn't ready. Like, you know, like
Oh, I'm gonna have her come on. Oh
yeah, I wasn't ready. But this, I don't know. It just felt right. Oh, and then you hit me up at 11:11. I was like, oh, the angels.
Here it is. Listen, thank you, 11:11.
Yeah, so thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Family, this is the end of episode 1 for season 2. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, tell somebody. Cheers to getting this shit done. Thank you. I cannot wait to learn, grow, and redefine who we are all together. I love y'all.
Adios.
Adios, amigos. Oh, I wonder. See, I'm gonna have to keep it unlocked or something.
Deep breath.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
I'm so happy. I am so happy that you feel good. I'm so happy that you came. I feel like
Thank you. You have
this
no idea.
It's gonna be so good.
1 hour and 6 minutes. Not bad.
Not bad. Can you turn yourself the camera back?
Oh yeah.
And
He's so extra. Dude, cut the damn video.